My ghoster Denmark is back. Hello gorgeous, welcome back to my channel, or hello if you're new, and if you are new, it would mean so much if you guys hit that subscribe button to join my YouTube family. But today I am going to be doing a whole video about how to get over being ghosted. Okay, so I'm about to get comfy here because this topic just, you guys know, gets me heated. I did a whole two-part series on my channel here where I talk about my ghosting story. So I will link them down below. Definitely go watch it out. I will give you all the juicy details and I spill all the tea in those videos, but I will give a quick little rundown. I dated this guy who we call here on my channel Denmark. The reason for that is because Denmark is from Denmark. I met him when I was on my grad trip with my best friend. We went to Barcelona, Spain, and I met him. I live in Canada, so as you guys can tell, this was a long distance relationship. He came down a few times to visit me over in Canada, and we were in a relationship for a solid year before the ghosting took place. So Denmark and I were in a very committed relationship. I thought everything was going great, and it was going amazing. It was the best relationship I ever had, and then bam, out of nowhere, he disappeared like he never existed, and I never saw it coming. I always get a lot of questions all the time on my Instagram, which if you guys aren't following me at NicolettaXOYT, totally follow me on there. And I wanted to kind of talk a little bit more about it because I realized in my stories, I kind of just told my story. I didn't really say anything that happened to me after and how I felt and how the steps I had to go through and the ways to kind of get over it. Because when you're in a relationship and you get ghosted, it kind of feels like you get the rug pulled out from under you and you don't see it coming. A lot of the times, relationships that end up leading to ghosting, you actually are kind of in this fairy tale. Your relationship's going really great, so you think you really like the person, you think the person likes you because they're obviously making you feel that way. I know that's exactly how I felt in my relationship. Denmark made me feel like I was the most important woman in the world and I was the best thing that ever happened to him. I showed even all my text messages. It would be paragraphs upon paragraphs pretty much complimenting me. Thank you. But clearly that is not really how this person felt, because out of nowhere he ghosted me, and what I thought was the most perfect thing ever was clearly not perfect and was broken. So I'm going to talk about kind of how to get over someone that ghosted you, because it is a lot different than how to get over a normal relationship. When you have a normal relationship, you have the breakup stage and you have that closure. Whether you want to accept it or not, you still have that closure. But with ghosting, you didn't have that closure, and a lot of the times the long process of getting over someone that ghosted you is not necessarily getting over the person, but getting over the betrayal of being ghosted. I really hope this can help because I know how common ghosting is now, and I hope this can even help if you're just going through a breakup. Definitely check out my entire ghosting story because there's a lot of information in those videos and it is quite juicy. So if you want some entertainment and you're bored at home, 10 out of 10 recommend. So I'll have it down below for you guys. I will also maybe do a quick little update at the end of this video after I kind of talk about the process of getting over your breakup. And yeah, so let's get into it. Step number one is you have to accept your feelings and allow yourself to feel those feelings. You have to let yourself cry. It is going to suck for a while and it's inevitable. It would be kind of more weird if it just didn't bother you that someone ghosted you. So really allow yourself to have that time to mourn the relationship, because any sort of relationship that ends, you kind of have to go through a grieving process because you're so used to this person being in your life and your daily routine, and you have to get used to it not being there anymore and that it's no longer going to be there. And a lot of the times when you get ghosted, not only do you feel upset, but it can also come with shame and embarrassment. But you have to remember that the way this person handled that situation says a lot more about them than it does about you. Try not to blame yourself, feel embarrassed that you even liked this person or that they did that to you. It can affect obviously your self-esteem. You're going to start thinking, what's wrong with you? Were you not good enough? And you're gonna have 1,000,001 questions going in your head, but you really have to try to ignore those questions and just realize that it clearly has more to do with him than you. It was going to happen inevitably. I used to think a lot that, wow, imagine I was in a relationship with this person even longer than a year. How about if I was with someone for 10 years and they just did this? I think that, for example, for Denmark, if he was gonna do it, I feel like he would have done it anyways, even if I was with him for 3 years or 5 years or 10 years. So I just feel like it obviously has more to do with that person than anything I've done. Tip number 2 is just to be gentle with yourself and have sympathy for yourself. Whatever you're feeling is normal. It is a crappy situation and no one wants to go through it. It is not okay what the person did to you, and acknowledge that. And like I said, it would be more weird if you had no negative feelings or you just didn't care when the person ghosted you. Then that would be a little bit weird, because that obviously meant that you weren't really liked the person, I guess. So obviously it's going to affect you, and you have to realize that that's okay. I think a lot of the times when things happen to us, we just don't want to feel it, and we try to push it in the back of our heads, or we say, we're fine, it's fine, I'm just gonna pretend like it never happened. But I think it's important to fully get over it and not have it come up later on in your life, that you start to go through the grieving process and accept it and be gentle on yourself and give yourself that time that you need to kind of cry and sympathize with yourself. And that leads me to tip number 3, which is just to talk about it with someone. This is the time to talk to your friends, your family, or really anyone, and even if you need to, a therapist. There is no shame in talking to a therapist. I think that's really healthy. I think, to be honest, it shows that you are strong and you are able to acknowledge that you're not okay and that you want to be able to fix it or feel better about something. I leaned a lot towards my friends. Something that was really difficult for me is my friends, although they were there for me and they definitely listened to me cry about it and talk about it, and they totally helped me in that way, and they felt completely horrible for me and they couldn't even imagine what I felt. It was a little bit harder because a lot of my friends couldn't relate to that situation, and when I was ghosted, which I think it was the year of 2015 or going to 2016, I didn't really even know that that was ever a thing. I didn't think that that would ever be a possibility that I would have to worry about when in a relationship, because I feel like ghosting wasn't so popular that it is now that people talk about. I feel like, unfortunately, ghosting is a lot more common. But at the time, it never crossed my mind. You know, you always worry about someone cheating on you, but you don't necessarily would worry about someone ghosting you out of nowhere. That is just something that really took me by surprise, and even my friends, because they themselves or people they knew never went through it. So I felt really alone at the time, and that is why I kind of want to make this video and to share my whole ghosting experience and talk about it, because I think that if I could see this a few years back when I was going through it, it would have helped me so much to be able to feel like someone else is going through the exact same situation. So talk to someone, get your feelings out there, don't hold it in, and even watch videos like this, or you can always message me on Instagram. I think it is important to always just have someone that you can talk to and don't feel like you have to hold everything to yourself. You deserve your feelings to get validation. Talking to someone is really going to help divert any harmful or negative thoughts that you have, or may help you realize that it is not your fault. Like I said, when going through ghosting, you may blame yourself, you may feel embarrassed. You know, your friends are always going to have your back and are always going to make you feel a lot better. And this leads me to tip number 4, which is make sure you're eating well, you're exercising, and as well as you are sleeping. You are in the situation where, you know, you thought you were going to be with this person for maybe even forever, and they betrayed you and you didn't see it coming, and you're so heartbroken and you're miserable and you don't want to do anything but lie down and eat ice cream and don't go on with your normal routine. But that is something you need to not do. This is something that I forced myself to do. When I was going through this, I forced myself to keep going on with my routine, because you know what? This person did something really crappy to you, but think about it this way. That person is not losing sleep because they're just not a good person. By doing well and focusing on yourself, I feel like that's the best payback, showing that it didn't bother you and it didn't affect you. Making sure that you're still getting good sleep and you're eating healthy and you're taking care of your body. This is the time that you have so much time now to yourself. You don't have to put any energy to a significant other. So it's time to focus and work and put all the love and energy into yourself. And that is exactly what I did. I went to the gym every single day, and I was not about to let someone someone stop me from following my dreams. And that is when I put a lot more focus in my YouTube videos. A fun fact, actually when I got ghosted and was going through a really rough time in my life is when my channel actually blew up and started getting hundreds of thousands of subscribers, because I was putting so much of my energy and focus on my passion, which was YouTube. And when I was dating Denmark, I had YouTube, but I was a lot smaller. I was probably at like 30,000 subscribers, I would say. Maybe even less, to be honest. And right when Denmark left, the entire first year of Denmark being gone, I blew up to maybe like 250,000, maybe even more. Maybe 300. I was not about to let this person that did that to me ruin more of my life. It already broke me down, made me heartbroken, but I was not about to let him stop my life and make me even more miserable and just not be happy with myself. So put that energy into it. Trust me, if you have good exercise and eating good, you're also gonna feel a lot better when it comes to your mental health. Work on yourself, do things that you wanna do, join a hobby, you know, buy those pairs of shoes that you've always wanted to buy. Like, treat yourself and don't forget to pamper yourself. You need to remind yourself that you're perfectly capable of taking care of yourself and that you could do this all on your own and you don't need that person to make you happy. And my last tip is don't be scared to get yourself back out there, even date if you want to. Of course, I don't recommend just jumping into dating when you're not over the situation. I just think it's important to kind of come to terms. And I also think a lot of the times you can carry your kind of issues you had with that and bring it on to the new person. So you might not trust the new person as much anymore because of what your boyfriend that ghosted you did or your date that ghosted you did. So you really want to be able to get over that and be okay with yourself and be okay being alone before you go ahead and put yourself back in the dating scene. I do think it is easy to get scarred by one horrible experience, but once you allowed yourself to grieve and move through it and take time for yourself and only yourself, it's time to get back out there and date if you want. And that's only if obviously you want to. Maybe you know you don't want to and you want to take more time off, then you're not ready. That is completely okay. You're gonna know if you're ready or not. Don't force yourself to be ready if you're not, because that's just not gonna end well. But once you are and you're out there, I feel like you will know when the time is. Get yourself back out there, have fun, and don't compare your relationships, because comparing relationships is always the worst and always gonna lead to issues. Go in with a clear mind and just forget about what happened. You have to know that, you know, sometimes not the best things are gonna happen in your life, and sometimes crappy things like that are going to happen to you, but don't let that ruin your experience with something else, because, you know, you could ruin a really good thing and you could ruin it because of that person, and you don't want to give that person satisfaction. They already did enough damage in your life. It's time for you to shine and time for you to move on and be treated like the queen that you are meant to be. That is what I did once I felt like I was ready to go back out there, and I spent enough time, you know, getting over it, and I kind of came to the acceptance of the ending of the relationship. I went back out on the dating scene, and as a lot of you guys know, a lot of my horrendous dates were during that time. Unfortunately, I just did not have good luck when it came to the dating scene for a little bit. But that didn't stop me. I've always been someone that's been a hopeless romantic, even though I went through a lot of that stuff. And I just feel like I don't feel like crappy people should ruin it for you. And one day you're going to find that really good gem. And in the end, it's all worth it when you do. I'm in now a really good relationship with my boyfriend, Nicholas. I've been with him for a little over 2.5 years, and he has treated me the best that I've ever been treated in my entire life. And I've never been so happy. I have 100% trust in him. And that was something that back then when I was going through it over 4 years ago, that is just something I did not see happening. I just really didn't think I would trust anyone ever again. I really didn't think I'd be able to let someone else into my life ever again, because that is a very difficult thing for me to do. But I didn't want one bad apple to ruin it. Or you know what? I went through quite a few bad apples, but we're not gonna let that ruin it, because if I let it ruin it, I wouldn't have been able to attract in my boyfriend that I have today. It's definitely something that you will get over, and even though you may feel heartbroken, you don't see it getting better anytime soon, it will. Once time passes and you get used to not being with the person and that person not being part of your daily routine, it kind of feels like they don't exist and you don't even know who they are and you don't miss them anymore and you kind of just move on. And I think especially when it comes to this ghosting situation, doing something like ghosting someone is very immature and you don't want to be with someone like that in the end of the day. Even if they showed that they were this amazing person and would do anything for you, obviously a lot of that was fake or may have been lies and they weren't really the best person, and you don't want to be with someone that's going to do that to you. I remember feeling like, oh, I shouldn't have said this, maybe it was this, maybe I could have done this, and it's like there's really nothing that you could do that would have made it better. They were gonna do it regardless, and if they are that type of person to even do that, no, I don't want that in my life, you know? I just wanted to say thank you guys for listening to my ghosting story and for being so brave and commenting all your stories down below. I absolutely love that, and it's amazing to feel like you guys can relate to me. I feel honestly so sad to know though how many people have been ghosted. It just makes me feel icky that so many people are doing that to other people, because I know that horrible feeling and feeling completely heartbroken and just feeling broken over the betrayal, it affecting you with relationships that come into your life, and it can take a very long time to get over. I just wanted to do a quick little update. I never still to this day received a message. I have still seen Denmark looking once again at my Instagram stories, so I don't really know if he watches my YouTube or has seen this, but we're just gonna give a little shout out to Denmark. Hey, hello. I have just seen him look at my Instagram stories, and I know I mentioned that in the last video, but I actually saw it again, so that is why I'm saying that. So I feel like that just kind of gave me my closure and kind of gave me that little, you know, well, I'm better off, that was meant to be, and it kind of feels like I have the upper hand even though I never got my closure, because in the end of the day, who's stalking who? But that's pretty much what happened. If you know I have any updates, or if you guys want me to do more videos around ghosting, or if you have any questions, you can leave it down below and I definitely could do a video about it. Hope you guys enjoyed this and it really helped you guys out. If you're going through any sort of heartbreak, I'm so sorry. I know that feeling. It is very hard and something that pretty much almost all of us go through, so it's something that we can always relate to each other as people, and I think that it is something that we can come together on, and I hope that this makes you feel better to know that, you know what, it is not you and you will get through it and become stronger and better in the end. Don't forget to click the subscribe button. I do upload every single week and I will be dropping a lot more videos since, you know, we're going to be spending a lot more time inside because of everything that's going around, which I just want to say a quick little something. I know YouTube doesn't like when we talk about it, but you guys know what's going around in the world and people are getting sick and a lot of stuff is happening and it is so heartbreaking, and I just want to say stay safe, stay inside, wash your hands, and I am completely heartbroken and sorry to all the people and all the people that will be affected by this, and it is very scary. That's something that has really been taking a lot of my time, and I've been so heartbroken just seeing everything. I just can't even imagine. If anyone's affected and you just need to talk to someone, message me on Instagram. I will try to do my best to answer you guys, but please stay safe. I just feel like a little bit weird to do, you know, like videos because of this, but I know a lot of us are spending a lot more time inside and it can be very overwhelming, everything that's going on, and I want to be able to just put content out that you could just sit there and kind of forget everything and just enjoy. So that is why I want to try and upload a bit more too, because I know how boring it can be, and I know I love when my favorite YouTubers upload more. So I thought that I would upload a little bit more. So let me know what type of videos you guys want to see during this time. I love you guys so much from the bottom of my heart. Please stay safe and healthy. Keep your loved ones close, because this is just a time that everyone needs to be together and help their community and do the most that they can do and anything that they can do at this point. We'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye!